and I look after portfolio management services and asset management for Equirus Securities Private Limited. Been in asset management business for more than 10 years and managing client portfolios for the same time frame. Today, I just wanted to give a background about the global markets, the economy, and Indian markets, along with our perspective of handling client assets. So, as we today see, markets are rallying sharply between optimism and pessimism created due to different factors. Pessimism because of obvious reasons of COVID-19 and the economic repercussions of the same, which are being felt across the countries. And how long will it last? The risk due to this is kind of difficult to price, and which is where I think market is not able to have a grip of how things are going to pan out in shorter term. The optimism comes from a time frame because as we look in last 1 month, the kind of money printing which has happened from central banks and the kind of money that is sloshing around looking for assets, it is absolutely unprecedented. We are looking at countries printing 15-20% of their GDP in incremental stimulus, looking at assets to buy right from bonds, but as low as junk bonds, high yield and junk bonds. So this is absolutely unprecedented stimulus which has been given. So what we think will tend to happen is, historically, if you look at such disruptions, disruptions have become shorter in time frame and have exaggerated their effects over market, but the time frame tends to be shorter as time elapses over a period of last 100 years. So the largest happened in 1930s. It was a very long economic cycle. The cycle kept on becoming shorter. If we fast forward to 2008, the cycle was as short as a year in terms of economic cycle. We think pretty similar should be the time frame of the economic bounce back that we can see going forward as of today. One thing we got to remember and also balance our portfolios accordingly is the inflation. We think the inflation is going to be far higher in next few years than what it has been in the historical past because of the large amount of circulation of M3 capital which will be in the system. What do we do? So we look at businesses and companies which are generally market leaders in their space and are essentially growing much faster than the market and have pristine balance sheets and return ratios. We try and buy such companies in the portfolios and buy it and hold on to it over a 3 to 5 year cycle. Today, in the Indian markets, we see large dislocation between price and value of a lot of companies. Overall, how have we positioned ourselves? We are not doing too differently from what we were doing earlier to this pandemic or the effects of this pandemic as well. We were generally underweight financials. Financials were around 15-17% of our portfolio. We continue to remain there because we think the risk reward in those companies are significantly high, even though the companies might be slightly off the top. We continue to like some of the chemical companies because we think the surety of growth is pretty high there, and the earnings still will be robust, and the valuations are not out of whack. The second part where we are very interested is where the dislocation is very large in terms of intrinsic value of the business to the price the market is quoting today. So some of the discretionary sectors, right from autos to durables, are showing that crack. I think some of these sectors should give really good value to the shareholders today, which will mean very high returns when the market and when the economic cycle normalizes. Another sector where we would see the same level of resurgence is utilities and metals and mining. We think both of these sectors will also turn out to be reasonable bargain hunting places for a bottom-up investor like us. So at an overall aggregate portfolio level, we would have probably 15-20% chemicals, 15% financials, 10% discretionary spending, 10 to 15% structural companies and companies which are in infrastructure, pipe manufacturers. One of the thought processes there also is that when government will tend to look at coming out of this dip, they will come up with large scale infrastructure spendings. So some of our companies are not end EPC manufacturers, but they are pipe manufacturers with supply to the infrastructure players. So this is the rough combination of the portfolio that we think we want to have. At an aggregate portfolio level, almost 3/4 of our companies are debt free. We have a couple of financials, as I mentioned, those will have debt, but the balance sheet of these companies are absolutely pristine, and we think once you have this portfolio at the valuation that they are in place today, the probability of us having an affirmative outcome 3 years or 4 years out are very, very high. At a market level, if we look at the small cap index is down probably 60% from the top. The small cap index is today in dollar terms lower than 2008 high. That tells you where the market has taken these companies, whereas these companies have grown in their own respect and in the range of 15% odd. So the only thing we can control is the valuation at which we enter the market. When there will be uncertainty in the market, the valuations will reflect the same. But if we buy companies at these valuations and certainty reflect back in the market a year and a half down the line, not only do we get earnings growth over the next 3 years, but we will also get the P re-rating, which will add to the value of the portfolio. So this is how we are placing ourselves. At an overall level, we think this is a perfect time to basically bat on the front foot and allocate much larger portions to equity, and a slightly more risk taking or slightly an investor having slightly more risk appetite should look at small and mid caps as a great place for bargain hunting. Thank you.